Hey guys, this is Licious Kid from ClimaxCombo, back with another Leaks of the Weeks. This week continuing off with Kantai Collection, but this week also starts the Nisekoi leaks for the trial deck coming out on the 4th of next week. I'm looking forward to buying a couple trial decks, so I'm looking forward to these leaks. But yeah, this week they don't show much cards this week, so this should be a fairly short video. So I'll just get right to it. 1/1 6.5k. When you have two or more other ship girl characters, this card gains plus 1k power, making her 1/1 7.5k. Her or cards 1/1s that hit 7.5k usually have a downside. Her quote unquote downside is that you need two other ship girls, but that's stupidly easy to accomplish. So she'll most of the time be 1/1 7.5k. Being an uncommon and her being red, I think makes her a very solid card. Yeah, that's it for Monday. Next to Tuesday, 2/2 1k. This card is a backup, however. So it's a level 2 backup, pay 2, plus 4k power. Pretty bad. It's not worth running the 2 for the 4k power. So don't run this card. On to Wednesday's leak. That's it for Tuesday, right? Yeah, that's it for Tuesday. On to Wednesday's leak. This card, 1/1 6k. She combos with this card, so what this card does is when this played from hand to stage, she gains X power, where X is the number of ship girls you control multiplied by 500. Her other effect, when she's being front attacked, you may discard a card from your hand, place it to the waiting room. If you do, choose up to this card from your hand and place it to the original border of this card as the defending character. What this card does, if you have 3 or less hand size, she gains plus 15, so she'll be 9/5 power. Her other effect, when this card declares an attack, you may pay to discard a card. If you choose an opponent's front row character and a back row character, bounce it back to their hand. Essentially, because they have to be level 3 or lower, but most of the time they don't hit past level 4. So yeah. So these cards, my opinions on them. I think these cards are pretty bad. 1/1 6k for like a one-shot kill card is not worth it. She only hits 8/5 before assist if you have a full field when you play her, which may not always be the case at level 1, and is still in backup range for a lot of decks. So yeah, and she has to be front attack, so you can't let her die you can't let her die on the turn you play her. Next, this card, you need to have -3 hand size. You need to have 3 or less hand for her to gain 15. So she hits a 2/2 9.5k. Hand size is just too important to be having. It's just too important for this benefit. Especially if you're running this if you're trying to accomplish this at level 1, you are probably going to lose the game. Yes, her effects make it easier for you to accomplish this -3 hand size, but not worth it. Hand size is just too important, so I wouldn't run this card because without it, it's just a 2/2, 8k, 2 soul. Yes, she has a 2 bounce thing, but it is once again a minus to your hand size, and you have to pay a whopping 2 on top of the 2 that she originally cost. So I wouldn't run either of these in my decks. Next up, Wednesday is the start of the Nisekoi leaks. This one being 1/0 Chitoge, 5k. During your turn, this gains plus 1k, so she'll be a 1/0 6k before assist. Generic 1/0 5k beater for yellow. Next up is the Sugumi 1/1 2k. 2k backup. Pay 1, 2k backup. Once again, nothing surprising. On to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday's leaks. This is a 0/0 1.5k for Kantai. It's their Suicider, so when this card is reversed and the level of the card battling opponent is 0 or lower, that card is put to reverse as well. She has pay to Encore, which is like, who gives a crap? But if you have no other way to pay out stock, I guess this effect can be useful. But it's a Suicider. At least they got one, so you can't complain. Next up, more Nisekoi leaks. 2/1 9k Onodeta. When she's played from hand to stage, reveal the top card of your deck. If there's a climax, place this card to rest. 2/1 9k. being an oversized 1 cost level 2, she will have her downside. Her downsides being that if you reveal Climax, she goes to rest, which can possibly happen. So it is not the greatest 219k. Usually the ones that are like if you have 2 or more characters plus 1k or perhaps experience are better. But it's a trial deck, so you can't really complain. It's a 219k nonetheless. So yeah, not the worst thing ever. Next up is the Duty. Yes, 2.5k. During your turn, your opponent's turn, sorry, this card gains plus 1k, so she is a 3.5k on your opponent's turn. A very generic blue 2.5k beater for 0, once again. So, not very exciting leaks for Nisekoi, but it's a trial deck. And they'll have more leaks next week. But lastly, on Friday, of course, like always, they reveal the best stuff for Friday. This one being the 3-2 Chitoge for the level 3 for the trial deck. So here it is. So yes, 3-2 10k. When she's placed from hand to stage, draw 2, ditch 1 for generic, draw 2, ditch. Her other effect, when you play a Climax onto your Climax border, you may pay 1. If you do, this card gains plus 4/5 power until the end of the turn. It's pretty bad, to be honest, paying an extra 1 just to ensure a kill on a character at level 3 isn't the greatest thing ever. And draw 2, discard 1 isn't very exciting, to be honest. It's not a really good on-play effect, so this card is a pretty bad level 3 in my opinion. I probably would not be running this in a real Nisekoi deck. That being said, it's a shame, but it's a trial deck. Most trial decks don't really have good level 3s nowadays. I mean, the kill one really sucked. The Kantai one was pretty bad. Shidoya was pretty cool though. But yeah, level 3s and TDs nowadays are usually pretty lackluster. So yeah, that is the leaks for Friday. Actually, no. Friday had 2 more leaks. It's not up on this website, but I still do want to address them. So I will be showing them on Heart of the Cards. So yeah, I just want to wrap up Nisekoi a bit because that's all the Nisekoi leaks. Not very exciting, but the thing to notice is that all the characters kind of have different traits. Like Chitoge is a young lady and a key. Tsugumi is a weapon. Onodera is key and sweets, while Rudy is classes and sports. And yeah, so maybe we can see some trait issues in the future. Perhaps like maybe certain events will only target key characters, maybe certain backups will only apply to key characters, or a certain assist will only apply to classes characters. Just something to keep in mind. We don't know if they will yet because there's only 5 cards out for them, but probably the most notable thing from these leaks, in my opinion, that they do have a lot of different typings. But yeah, on to the Kantai collection leaks. So this one is a 3-2 9.5k double R plus. When she's placed from hand to stage, draw 2, ditch 1. At the start of your climax phase, put all cards in your stock to the waiting room, and all your characters gain plus 1k until the end of your opponent's turn. When the battling opponent of this card becomes reversed, and you have the gold bar in your climax zone, put that character to the clock. Once again, she combos with the gold bars. So I guess let's go over this card. Draw 2, ditch 1. The idea is to, of course, draw into the gold bars easier, because she does ClimaxCombo with it. Her second effect is mandatory. It is not optional. It is similar to the 3-2 Chihaya. I believe that's her name, from Rewrite. But instead of her gaining 3k, this Akagi Kai gives all your characters plus 1k until the end of your opponent's next turn. I wish it was like the Rewrite one, to be honest, where it only gained 3k to herself. But that's besides the point. And she combos with the gold bars. So her second effect is not that great, to be honest, because Akagi Kai only hits 9.5k. So even with her second effect off, she only hits 10.5 before assist. And with the gold bars, that's another 1k, making her 11.5k before assist. but yeah, it does have the clock shooting option, but I do want to address the fact that Kantai does have another clock shooter in the form of this Hyuga Kai that I talked about a couple weeks ago. This card also shoots characters to clock. However, her cost is on play, discard a card from your hand. If so, she gains plus 1k. So she hits 11k. While if you use a startup as well, she gains another k. So using a startup at level 3 isn't too difficult, I guess depending on the set. But let's assume that it's going to be fairly... Let's assume that you do manage to get the startup. She hits 12k, which is stronger than the 11.5k Akagi Kai does, which does make a difference because I think every power does help for these clock shooters because you want to, you have to guarantee that they will kill something. But, so Akagi Kai combos with the gold bars. As we know, gold bars is a minus when you play it from your hand to the field. Yes, it gives all your characters plus power and plus 1 soul, but the plus 1 soul that it gives to all your characters may end up backfiring on you because your opponent may cancel the damage because you are dealing more soul. While Hyuga does minus yourself by discarding a card from your hand, but you can discard any card. You can discard Climaxes before refresh, discard anything. She's not reliant on a Climax combo. She potentially hits higher power than Akagi Kai, and she doesn't drain all your stock. So perhaps Hyuga Kai would be a better fit in the Kantai decks, because Kantai does have 8 gates. Once again, keep that in mind. So, will people be running this Akagi Kai? The only time I can see Akagi Kai being better than Hyuga, in my opinion, is if you have 2 Akagi Kais or 3 Akagi Kais on the field, and then you play the 1k ones, and then you play the gold bars. Because if you use Hyuga, and then if you want to play multiple Hyugas on the same turn, you have to discard for each one of them, while all the Akagi Kais will just combo with 1 gold bar. And they will all pump each other respectively, because all their effects will go off for the second effect. So having 2 Akagi Kais, when you have 1 Akagi Kai on the field with the gold bars, I think having the Hyuga Kai would be better. But if you have multiple Akagi Kais on the field, then I think it is better than the Hyuga Kai. Just something I want to address for you guys, something just to keep in mind. And lastly, the last level 3 for Kantai collection is this 3-2 double R, 7.5k. All your characters gain plus 1500 power, so 1500 power, 1500 global assist. When this is placed from hand to stage, place the top 2 cards of your library under this as a marker. At the start of your opponent's attack phase, you may pay cost, which is 3. If you do, choose one of your opponent's characters, and that character gains plus 4 soul for the turn. And at the start of your draw phase, put all markers under this in stock. So let's go over this card. It's a 3-2, 1.5k global assist. Pretty late in the game for this effect I guess the power to matter. It does help out the clock shooters, being a 1500 global assist. But let's go over her other effects. So when she's placed from hand to stage, get the top 2 cards under this as a marker. Pretty scary because those 2 cards can potentially be climaxes. And every climax is very important at level 3 because that is a potential for you to plus or just a potential for you to cancel. So the 2 blind stock is scary. And this third effect, giving one of your opponent's characters plus 4 soul. Yes, the idea is that if your opponent is overswinging with 4 soul, then you have a higher chance of canceling. But the timing for this card is a little weird because it's at the start of your opponent's attack phase, meaning that when they want to attack, you have to pay the 3 and then choose one of their characters. It's pretty scary because once you choose it, your opponent can decide which order they want to attack in. And don't forget, with the plus 4 soul, they can guarantee side any of your level 3s for a decent amount of damage. Like if they have a level 1 and then you have a level 3, then you give them the plus 4 soul, they'll be 5 soul. They can still side your level 3s for 2 soul damage, which is still they're still dealing 2 damage to you. That being said, I don't think this third effect is good. Yes, it may save your ass, but just how much control your opponent has over the soul is iffy, and it's pay 3, which is a lot. And the last effect, put the markers under this into stock. That's cool and all, but like if those are climaxes, then you probably just go kill yourself. You probably just cry. Anyways, I guess the idea of this is to combo off with the Akagi Kai, so that you play Akagi Kai, and at the attack phase you lose all. You play Akagi Kai, you play Kaga, you lose all your stock. You get 3 attacks in. That's 3 stock. Then next turn, Kaga's effect goes off, giving you 5 stock, giving you very strong characters because Akagi Kai gives all your characters plus 1k. That's 10-5. This gives them 15, making them 11-12. And let's say you have another 1k global, perhaps. That'll be 14k on offense and defense, which is cool and all. But like I said, big power isn't, big power isn't going to win you the game. It's going to help you. Big power is not going to win you the game, but it will help, I guess, is what I would like to say. So these cards, or I think Kaga is a pretty bad card in my opinion. Akagi Kai, it's cool. It's not the worst card ever. I'll just say that. But with all the other 3-2 options that Kantai has, such as Kongo, Musashi, Haruna, I don't think Akagi Kai. Perhaps people will play Akagi Kai, but it's gonna be a tough call with all the other cool level 3, with all the other cool 3-2s in the set. So yeah, that is the leaks for this week. That is all of Kantai collection. Yeah, Kantai, very interesting set. I'm very curious to see what people bring out, what people, make with all these cards. It's such a huge set. And if you guys want to see the entire list, you guys can just go to Heart of the Cards and look at Kantai collection. The entire list is over here. And yeah, that's the leaks for this week. Anything else I want to say? Upcoming, we have SAO2, Shinchan, and Nisekoi trial deck coming out. So perhaps those will all start on April. If SAO2 does start next week, then which it will most likely will, then Checkers will be doing that for you guys. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions or comments, then please leave them below. I would love to hear them. And until next time, guys.